afternoon. Happy Sunday. It is a Sunday. I am going to be talking about what would you tell your 18-year-old self today. It is day 4 of the Stream and Shine Challenge. I am Dr. Lene Javette, and I'm supposed to be telling you something about myself today. And as I was writing a fun fact about myself, I decided the fun fact about myself is that I didn't know what I was going to be when I was growing up. I had no plan, no idea, no picture in my head, no nothing. I literally was just going through life. And so being that that's the fun fact, as I was writing that, I was like, what would I go back and tell myself when I was 18? Which was 30 years ago. I'll be 48 next month. And so I was like, that'd be something fun to talk about today. In the chat, tell me, what would you go back and tell your 30-year-old self? If you could go back and speak to yourself at 18 when you were coming out of high school, knowing what you know today about your life, about the choices that you've made, about the decisions that you've made, about the ups and the downs, the obstacles that you've experienced, if you could go back to your 18-year-old self, give me one thing you would tell yourself. If you could go back and say, yo, sis or bruh, ooh, the road ahead, let me give you some game. Let me tell you some things that you can do to make it a little bit better for yourself, right? What would those things be? I'm gonna give you 3 of mine, but before I do, I kind of want to tie it in. So first of all, most of you guys already know me. I'm Dr. Lene Javette. I am a monetization strategist and business coach. I help Black entrepreneurs who package and sell their brilliance to triple their revenue. And I did not know that this is what I was going to be doing with my life. I actually flunked out of 9th grade. I went to not a charter school, a school where you kind of like you can redo your credits for 10th grade. I was able to go back to a regular school for 11th and 12th grade, and then college just wasn't for me at that time. I knew I wanted to go and get an education. I didn't know how, I didn't know what, I didn't have all of those things kind of lined up, but I knew I wanted to do something. But it seemed like I just made bad choice after bad choice after bad choice after bad choice. And with each choice, life just kept taking me down a path, and life will pull you in a direction and in a place whether you want to go or not. And so I didn't have any real clarity. Even now at 48, I look at my life sometimes, I'm like, man, I would have never saw this for myself. I would have never chose this. I would have never picked this. Like, how did I get here? And one of these days, I'm going to tell you guys about my past and my life and whatnot. But for today, the fun fact is, what would you tell your 18-year-old self? And for me, it was thinking back to, I had no clear path forward. I had no clear path to what I wanted to do or what I wanted to be. I've never in my entire life had a job for more than 2 years, except for an entrepreneur. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2013, so 11 years now. This is the longest job I've ever had working for myself. Before that, I could never hold down a job more than 2 years. And I realized that I need to work for myself. And so that was the first thing I figured out, is that I need to work for myself. And once I figured that out, I went to cosmetology school. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know what I wanted to be, but I knew I wanted to work for myself. That's all I knew. I want to work for myself. So I went to cosmetology school. I got my license. I went into a beauty shop, but I was a single mom. I'm 24, 25 years old when this happens. And so I go into a shop, and I don't know about you, but ladies, women just getting their hair done, they don't want to hear, I got to leave by 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, so I got to pick my son up. They don't want to hear you can't come in on Saturdays because you got basketball or football, whatever the case might be. And so that didn't work out for me. And so I was like, okay, cool. If I'm not going to do that, then let me get my bachelor's degree. I got my bachelor's degree in innovation organization, because I was like, if I'm not going to have my own business, then I at least want to be the president or CEO of somebody else's business. So I got my bachelor's degree, and then I followed that up with my MBA, which is a master's of business administration. And then most of you guys know, I just graduated last year, or 10 years later, from that degree with my PhD in performance psychology. So this is what I would tell myself. These are the 3 things that I would tell myself if I was 18. If I could go back and speak to myself at 18, these are the 3 things that I would tell myself. Number 1, planning is great, but doing is better. At 18, I feel like I had a lot of plans. There's a lot of things I wanted to do. There's a lot of things I wanted to accomplish. And I planned to do a lot of things, and nothing got accomplished. I was a great planner, but not a great doer. So if I could go back to my 18-year-old self, I would say, do all the things. Don't wait for the right time. Because when we make plans, we always think there's going to be a right time to do this thing. And life consistently happens. There's never a right time to do the thing that you say that you want to do. There's no such thing as a right time. If you're just joining, today we're talking about what would you tell your 18-year-old self. In the chat, if you could go back to your 18-year-old self, give me one thing that you would tell yourself. If you could go back to you, again, knowing everything that you know right now, having lived all of your experiences that you've lived, if you could go back to you and give yourself some free game on what's to come, what's one thing you would tell yourself? Put that in the chat and let me know. So my number one thing was planning is great, doing is better. So I would tell myself to do all the things, don't wait for the right time. That's the number one thing I would tell myself. At 18, we think we have so much time. Before you know it, you're 30 years later, you're 48, and there's all these things that you didn't accomplish or you didn't do because you thought you would do them later. Now you got kids, you got family, you got bills, you don't get to them. The second thing I would tell myself is pick something and finish it. You have all these things that you want to accomplish. You have all these things that you want to do. Pick a thing. Because when you're 18, I think what happens is because we think we have so much time, we have all these things that we start and we don't complete. And we still do it as adults. We want to write a book. We write the first 2 chapters and then we're like, this is not for me. We want to lose weight. We start it, then we don't do it. Like there's all these things that we start and we don't finish, that I think if we could go back to our 18-year-old selves and say, hey, there's going to be 3 things in your life that you're really going to appreciate. Start them and see them through to the end. Like if I had known that at 18, I definitely could possibly be a billionaire right now. Hey, friend. Okay. Hopefully, can you guys hear me on Restream? Hopefully you guys can hear me on Restream. I tested my mic and it said that I could be heard. Anybody else out there, let me know if you can hear me or if you cannot hear me. I guess if you can't hear me, you can't hear me saying this to you. So if you can hear me, let me know that you can hear me. And then the third thing, actually, hold on. The second thing was see something through to the end, no matter how hard it is or how long it takes. If I truly want it, I gave up a lot when I was younger. Fear of failure, fear of not doing it right, asking other people what they think. Kept me from doing a lot of things that I wanted to do when I was younger. And so if I could go back to my 18-year-old self, that's what I would tell myself. And then the third thing, which is the most important thing I think, is to look inward. I would tell myself to look inward. Everything that I needed and I wanted from others, I had inside of me. Like most of you probably. Everything that you think you wanted, everything that you thought you needed, every hookup, connection, door, opportunity that you thought was that somebody could give to you, you can give it to yourself. That's probably one of the biggest things, if I could go back and tell myself at 18, that I would have told myself. And I probably would have had a clearer path to, if Facebook doesn't have any sign at all, I'll have to repost this. If I could go back, that's what I would do. I would tell myself to look inward, that I've got it, that it's cool, it's gonna be all right, that I have the answer, that I know what to do. When I was struggling with self-love, I would have loved myself better. I would have probably had different friendships. I would have been able to motivate myself. When I think about who I am today and how I am today, it's not that anything has changed outside of growing up, but I can hear my own self better. And I think when you're younger, you're taking in all of what's happening. You're going to your girlfriends and asking for opinions, and you're looking for validation, and if this person doesn't say the right thing or doesn't feel the right way about you, and you use a lot of that affects your choices, your decisions, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, who you tell about what you're doing, how you share it, how you get motivated, and those things slow us down. And I think if I had had more of that, I would have had a better concept and idea of who I wanted to be when I grew up, what I wanted to do, and I could have gotten to it quicker. As it is, I didn't start my business until I was 37. I was 37 when I started my business. I was 37 when I figured out what I wanted to be when I grew up. That's the fun fact that I'm sharing today. I was 37 when I figured out what I wanted to be when I grew up. If I could go back to 18-year-old me, I would say planning is great, but doing is better. Do something. Get clear on something and do something. The second thing would be, whatever you pick, finish it. Don't be jumping around from here to here to here and to there. And then the third thing would be, everything that you need and everything that you think you want, you already have it. So that's my fun fact for my day 4 of my live stream and shine challenge. These first 4 days were kind of fluffy. I'm just kind of getting my rhythm back and trying to get my algorithm live and wake up my algorithm, I should say. And so starting tomorrow, we're going to start getting into strategy, into some of the business stuff. But I needed to just like get myself online 4 days straight for myself, just to be able to say I showed up for 4 days. And so now that I have a better rhythm of showing up, now that my algorithm is kind of picking things up, now that you guys are kind of coming through, we're going to get into some real stuff. You know what I'm saying? So the first 4 days was really just get online, start it up, help my clients to see what it's like to go live. They are doing a 30-day live stream challenge where they have to go live once a week. So their job is to go live once a week. Me, as their coach, I have to go live every day for the next 30 days because I am pushing myself. In pushing myself, I'm pretty sure, I think I'm going to be going live at 9:00 a.m. Monday through Friday because that's the challenge, right? I usually come into the office at 9. But anyways, I think I'm going to be going at 9. So I will let you guys know a little bit more throughout this week once I actually confirm the time. But like I said, I will be getting into some more value add, business ad conversations starting on Monday. I just needed to get online these first 4 days. OMG, I should join this challenge. Join the challenge. Let me know. I'll send you the workbook. So I created a workbook for everybody that's doing the challenge that talks to you about call to actions, what they are, when to use them, how to use your live streams, different ways to do live streams. So I'll send you the workbook. It's not even a workbook. It's more so just informational to help people who aren't used to doing lives to do live streams. So I'll send that to you. With that being said, I know it's Sunday. I'm not going to be on here long. I had to do what I said I was going to do. So I wanted to meet my commitment and jump on here on a Sunday, get my live done for my day 4. And I have done that. Bam. And then tomorrow will be day 5. And we're going to start getting into some strategic stuff, some business stuff. I'm going to introduce you guys to some different things. And none of these lives are going to be long. I'm going to try to keep all the lives under 20 minutes since I have to do it every day. But by the end of 30 days, I hope to have added some value to you, your life, your business, but also have given you the opportunity to get to know me and what I do. So with that, I bid you farewell. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I am Dr. Lene Javette, business coach, monetization strategist. I help Black service-based entrepreneurs who package and sell their expertise to brand their brilliance and triple their revenue. I will see you guys tomorrow. Everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace out. Bye-bye.